to Life Angelz with Tracy Lynn, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome here to Life Angelz here on LA Talk Radio. We've got a full house tonight. Guess who? Look who's here, you guys. I know everyone's been very excited. We got a lot of action on Facebook today and social media because we have two celebrities in the house. We have Mr. Mike Glass. I'd like to welcome you to the show tonight.
Thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you so much for being here. I was very excited to have you on the show. And we have Hella Trevino. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Did she get that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
I practiced a little.
Actually, yeah,
okay?
she did.
All right.
Thank you very much.
And Mr. Dan Kennedy, celebrity photographer in the house once again. So I want to welcome you guys to the show. This is going to be a great show tonight. Legends of bodybuilding. I know this is obviously a big passion of mine, and I know a lot of people have so many questions out there on bodybuilding and fitness and health. Well, these are two experts that can definitely answer these questions for you. So I want you guys to call in. I hope you're going to call in tonight. All the numbers are listed up on the Facebook there too, so call in now. All right, so we're going to start off with Mr. Mike Glass. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tracy. It's a pleasure to be here with all these celebrities here tonight.
I know. We were just, you should have seen us. Well, you guys will see the pictures later, but we were actually just doing a flex off in the back. I lost. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty sure I lost, but that's okay.
You're in good condition, though. You're competing soon, so
Yeah,
Thank you.
Show me right now.
impressive.
I know, because I was looking at her, I was going, oh, wow, you know, I love that fullness.
This is contest shape, and this is off-season shape.
But I love that off-season look, too, because I love the fullness.
Yeah.
You know, it's rather than that kind of depleted, you know.
There's
you
a
feel
little bit
kinda
more fluff.
scrawny. Yeah, I like the fluff. It's good.
Okay, back to Mike.
All right. So, Mike, you know, you've been doing this. You've been in the industry for a long time now. So
2 years, yeah.
tell us how it started for you.
Well, I was the quintessential kid that got the sand kicked in his face and got tired of it, and I started working out. I read the magazines, Charles Atlas,
yeah.
John Gremick, Bill Pearl, of course, Steve Reeves from the Hercules movies. And that's what got me started. I just started working out at 13 because my father passed away of a massive heart attack.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I said, I don't want to be like that. So I started working out at 13. At 14, I got a little stronger, did my thing. I was part of the JFK, John F. Kennedy's Council on Physical Fitness during the 60s, the height of the Vietnam War. So I worked out. I eventually wound up at a place called Gold's Gym in Venice.
Sounds familiar.
And who did I bump into?
Yeah.
But the legends. This was the first one on Pacific Avenue. And I bumped into Arnold, Frank Zane.
Yeah.
And my all-time idol was Dave Draper, who was the blonde giant at that time.
Oh, okay.
Heard of him.
And I could communicate because I had a long ponytail and
I saw the pictures.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a fun time, and I learned a lot from everybody there. In fact, I had the opportunity to meet Joe Gold, the original Gold's owner.
Ooh, okay.
And believe it or not, compared to today's society, his office was the gym floor, his desk was a card table, and his chairs were little folding chairs.
Okay.
He said, "Hey, kid, are you interested in working out here?" He said, "Yeah, I sure am. I see all my legends here." And I was just in awe. My mouth was on the ground when I saw Arnold and all the legends. So he said, "Come on in and try it out for a week." There was sand all over the floor. Arnold came in wearing flip-flops and shorts. And that's where it all started for me.
That's so awesome.
That was it. And there was nothing fancy about Gold's Gym. It was A plus B equals C.
Could you understand him when you first met him or talk to him?
Vaguely. Vaguely. And I started working out over there. But I mainly communicated with Zane because Zane was the quintessential perfect bodybuilder.
He was.
From head to toe, he was what we call anatomically correct.
Yeah,
He had
absolutely.
everything in the right proportion, the right shape. And I knew I couldn't compete on an Arnold scale. I couldn't build my body. Dave was too big, but Frank was right along the same structure of an ectomorph, which I was an ectomorph, small bone.
Yeah.
So that's what started it for me, Tracy.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I can imagine how starstruck. I mean, that experience kind of happened for me just a few years ago after moving here from Canada, and I walk in there and see Lou Ferrigno and Arnold and everyone, and I was just like, you know, Mike O'Hearn and everybody, all the mentors that I had been looking up to for so many years. And I mean, it was just incredible because, as you said, like, you know, I was looking at all the magazines and and it was like, this is really happening now. And so, I mean, those guys are in there.
Amazing time.
Yeah, and they're putting in the work, and it's not just all. You know, that's what I really love about Gold's Venice is that when everyone's in there, they're putting in the work. It's a job. You're in there to do a job, and it's not, you know, social hour and things like that. People are training really, really hard, and they take the sport very seriously. Well, I know I do, and I know, you know, yourself too.
I still do.
And
yeah.
absolutely, you
I
do.
think that's
Yes.
what gives Gold's Gym that like unique atmosphere because it's very unique. If you go to any other gym, it doesn't have that vibe. Like you go in there and immediately there's a vibe.
Yeah.
Like everybody's really like killing
Yeah,
it. They're
you feel
working
the
out
energy
hard.
in there.
Yeah.
There's a legend, and no matter if it was in 1970 or if it's today, it's the same atmosphere.
Yeah.
It might be a little
even
bit
better.
more fancy today and more machines,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's still, you know, the legends of
Yeah,
today.
old school.
Not
Right there.
even
I love
actually,
it.
not even the legends of today, because I just saw Arnold Schwarzenegger train there the other morning.
Yeah.
And
he
you
was
know,
there a couple
Luke
weeks
comes
ago.
in once in a while still, so it's a mix now of like the old legend and the new legends, and I think it's amazing.
I love it. I mean, just my workouts are so much better in there. Is that where you train all the time too?
Yep, every day.
She walks there.
you go to another gym and it's like it's just kind of dull.
It's
People are
hardcore
sitting
all the way.
on the machines with their cell phones.
Yeah.
And
Texting, and you kind of feel like
the whole
you
energy
stand
is
out
just
too.
like,
Yeah, it just does. Yeah, it's like being in a motivational video when you walk into Gold. So that's
I like
to
the
me.
high vibration. You
Yes,
Yeah.
love
Keeps
it.
me off.
Intensity.
Well, you're a champion. So Hella, welcome to the show. Let's talk about you. You look phenomenal.
Thank you.
You do, absolutely. I mean, that is so much work, and I just, you know, you look so happy too. That's the thing that I really like about you. You just exude this like energy from you. You know, you love what you do, and that's so
I
incredible.
love what I do,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you know, I have no reason not to be happy because I'm living my dream. I
love it.
remember when I was 17 years old, and I started in this small little powerlifting gym, family owned, you know, and they had all.
And where was that?
That was in Denmark.
Okay, good. That's where
And
you're from.
That's
and
where I'm originally
Okay.
from. Denmark, Scandinavia, and they had all the Flex magazines and Muscle and Fitness and all that, and I would look at the pros and I'll be like, I remember I saw Kim Krzyzewski, which has been one of like the girls that I look up to,
Yes.
Linda Murray also, and I would just look at her and think, wow, if I could just look like that one day.
Yeah.
And now I do.
Yeah.
And
now you're bigger than
competing
her.
in this
I know.
He
And
knows.
you've
and now I'm
perfected
competing
this.
at the same competitions that she usually did, and I achieved it. I mean, one thing is to be
Yeah.
17-year-old and say, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I say, I want to be a pro.
Yeah.
I want to move to the United States one day.
Yeah.
And I did that. And this is what I'm living right
Yeah.
now, and that I can go to work at Goals and compete and make money at doing what I love. It's like, wow, I'm like so blessed. So
Yes.
I'm just smiling all day.
I love it. And share with the audience, the viewers and the listeners, and tell them, I mean, because a dream come true, it doesn't happen for a lot of people. This is living out your absolute fantasy. So how did you get to that place? What were the steps that it took? I mean, I know that's a lot of hard work, but what were the sacrifices? What were the steps that got you from Denmark out here living this life now and living in that pro lifestyle?
I think the number one key to getting in whatever you want to achieve in life is persistency
Yes. Good.
and
Love it.
belief.
Yes.
I just kept going. I kept going to the gym every day. I kept taking small steps. You don't get pro overnight, obviously. You got to set smaller goals. So I was like, okay, I want to win the Danish nationals, and I prepared for that some years and tried to build that body that it took.
Yeah.
And looked at, you know, the other girls, went to the competitions, not competing, just have a look, how do they look like?
Yeah.
Tried to talk to some people that were into the business. How do you do it? Like, can you help me with some diet or some tips? And
Yeah,
just,
that's important.
You know,
That's very
it's good
important.
to have some people. Like, if you want to do something, you want to surround yourself with people that are already doing it and knows what they're doing. You know, you
Yes.
don't want to ask, you know, oh, how do I do this exercise, and ask somebody who never competed or who
Yeah.
never had some type of education in it or
Mm-hmm.
something. Like, you want to ask somebody experienced,
Yeah.
how do I do this? So I was very fortunate that some of like the top Danish bodybuilders at that time,
Okay.
that they took me under their wing and was like, okay, you know, I'll look at you, how
Yeah.
your progress is coming along. You know, I'll help you with the diet. You know, I train with all the guys.
Yeah, I'm
You know?
like I'm the same too.
There
People are
wasn't
always
so
like, "Why do
many
you train
girls,
with
and
guys?"
you know, I started already in the early '90s.
Yeah.
I started before the first figure competition came out.
When was the first figure competition? We were just.
We created it ourselves.
When was that? What year
It
was that?
was. Here's the story, Tracy.
And
So-
thank you for
so-
creating it, because I love
Yeah,
it.
well, it's a true story. It's
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know this, but I was the first one to ever create women's figure, model quest, and men's physique.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Joe Weider right into his office in Woodland Hills, and I says, Joe, women's bodybuilding is getting too extreme. And he says, I know. What do you want to do about it? And I said, we need to change it because the sponsors are not sponsoring the women bodybuilders. I like women bodybuilding. A lot of people do, but the sponsors didn't like it because it wasn't mainstream.
Yeah.
Sexy.
So
Yeah.
what we did, I says, Joe, let's do what Bob Guccione did with Penthouse. Let's do what Hef did with Playboy. Let's have the Weider girl and the Weider guy. And he says, I like it. Let's do it. So we did it. Joe gave me $150,000 of marketing money in Flex magazine, Muscle and Fitness Hers, and what's the other one?
Flex.
Thank you. I said Flex, but we'll say it twice. Flex.
Oh, Iron Man.
Anyway, in 6 months, Tracy, Helen, Dan, we had 175 girls show up for the first ever Joe Weider model figure quest. We had 35
Nice.
guys. They were wrapped around the Mandalay Bay, and we called it the Joe Weider Model and Figure Quest. After the show, Ben Weider, who was Joe Weider's brother, thanked me. Joe Weider says, we're going to implement it now into the sport. I love it. Thank you very much. Now, goodbye. I couldn't copyright a man's name, and the NPC ran with it. It took them 5 to 10 years to pick it up, as it did with men's physique, but it
Yeah.
finally caught on.
Okay.
And so we did it there at Mandalay Bay at 2000,
Yeah.
and it was very started. That's where it started, Tracy.
Wow. That's crazy. I
Thank-
love that
thank you
story.
for that.
I know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because you've created an incredible sport, and I absolutely love it. And I
Our
know
numbers-
so many people appreciate you for
Our
that.
numbers still go unchallenged as far as North American,
Yeah.
women's nationals. We started a show back in the, I'm just giving you a quick scenario of what we've done.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s, there were no really bodybuilding shows. They just called them a Mr. This or a Mr. Orange County or a Miss Orange County.
Yeah.
And I said to my buddy, I said, why don't we do something like they do in the racing classics, the golfing classics? Let's have a muscle classic. So we did, and we put in 1,000 people into Anaheim High School. We had Frank Zane, the current Mr. Olympia, guest post. We filled up every seat.
Wow.
I think we got something here. So
Yeah.
years later, we kept doing it and doing it. In '85, we tied the Olympia record with 5,000 people.
I read that.
It's a
Congratulations.
true story.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
It's a true story.
phenomenal.
So-
good for you.
We spent as much on our poster as most of the athletes, most of the sponsors, and other promoters spent on their whole show.
Yeah.
So we put out a lot of money, but we got a lot of money back.
Yeah.
That's what was the golden age of bodybuilding.
And how did it start for you? I mean, this is obviously a passion of yours to promote and host these shows and
Well,
create such a huge
Yeah,
huge
I was.
turnout.
I wanted to try my put my car on the track like everybody else. So I
Uh-huh.
entered a couple shows and didn't even place.
Okay.
I met Dave Draper, and he said, "Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?" And of course, I went down to San Diego, won my first show in 1971, the Mr. Pacific Southwest and Most Muscular Man. I was
I
thrilled.
love it.
But I thought, I work out so hard, and they give you a trophy the size
Yeah.
of this water bottle here,
Yeah.
which is nothing. And I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to try to run my own show.
Yeah.
So we did, and we did it in a gym. The first gym show, we had 50 people. The next year, we had Pete Grimkowski guest post. We had 100 people.
Yeah.
So then we said, we think we got something here. So that started our Muscle Classic. I did all the other shows. I got the bid on the North American.
Yeah.
We took it from Vegas, where they were doing 500 people. We took it into Redondo Beach and put in 1,500. And the rest is history. We really did it. Our
Incredible.
records go unchallenged.
Did
Yeah.
you make sure the trophies got bigger?
The trophies got...
Yes. 'cause
Hell-
they're good.
Now
Hell-
he's the
Hell-
man we gotta talk
I know.
to.
Kelly,
Yes,
you're
exactly.
a
Let's
big
go.
girl, but we had trophies bigger than you, honey.
Oh, wow.
They were
Good
they were
job.
7 feet tall.
Good job.
Some
I
of them,
love
in
that.
fact, one of the guys that won from Texas says, "I want to thank you for this trophy, but I had to pay a second fee to put it on the plane."
Yeah.
So it was a
That's
golden
not a bad
time.
problem to have. Yeah.
It was a golden time,
Yeah.
and I had a good ride, so I don't need to prove myself. However, I do have a couple irons in the fire, which I'll tell you about during the broadcast here.
Yes, good.
So,
and I mean, you are in such fantastic shape. Look at, I mean,
Very
you have so much
impressive.
size
Look
too.
at those
I know
guns.
his guns. We took pictures. He wasn't he didn't
listen,
even flinch. It was just
I'm a
like,
nobody in the middle of nowhere, Tracy.
Aw.
That's my motto. You be humble and you get more. You be
Yes.
boastful and you lose everything.
Yeah, it's true. Remember that, you guys, because
Yeah.
we've been in certain situations in our lives where we've been humbled, and I remember one of my national shows, and I thought I was winning this show. I deserved it. I don't even know what I was thinking. I got humbled really quick.
Yeah.
And I remember standing there going, you know what? You needed this. This is exactly what you needed. You know what? And I walked off that stage and I shook every girl's hand, and then I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to hug them.
Yeah.
And I was like, good for you. Congratulations. And I remember walking out of the auditorium, and I cried, and it wasn't like I was crying for the loss. I was crying for the lesson that I learned.
Yes.
Because I really felt it in my heart, and it was a really good experience. I knew that it was like one of those game changers for me. And so now when I go into competing, it's like, you don't go in there thinking that you're better than anybody else, because we all work just as
Right.
hard, and you have to show your respect to the other competitors and other athletes.
Life is
Very well
filled
said.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
dead-end roads,
Yeah.
potholes,
Yeah.
stop signs. But
Yeah.
where do you learn the most? Not on the peak, on the
Yeah.
valley. You learn more on the bottom.
You betcha.
I always say that you're your own competition.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like, don't mind the others, because
Yeah.
you're not in control of what the other athletes do.
Yeah.
You're only in control of what you do, and that's what
Exactly.
you got to focus on.
Yeah.
Once you lose the side of yourself,
Yeah.
that's when it starts going wrong.
Yeah. No, it does. Yeah. Once you get up in the head, and you
Yeah.
start overthinking
Yeah.
things
Yeah,
and stuff
start
like
That
that.
happened
stalking
here.
the other girls on their Instagram and Facebook, how they look like.
Yeah.
That's the way to hell.
Hey, I'm curious
You
about
gotta
something,
just
Helen.
focus
You
on
mentioned
yourself.
something earlier about the ranking, and you said you were ranked number 3 in the world, or
Number
Two.
number 2. Oh,
Two.
I'm not sure.
Come on.
I'm not sure about that. What is the ranking? Who decides what you are? I
Yeah.
mean,
Tell
that's
us about that.
Well, I measured out of which is the biggest competition in the world. The biggest competition in the world for pros, it was for female bodybuilding. It was formerly called the Miss Olympia. That was like the
the
top.
pinnacle, the top.
Yeah, exactly, like a world championship. And to get there, you also have to go through a number of qualifiers. Either you have to win a qualifying competition, or you have to collect points. And I believe it's like the top 5 that get points at every
Yes.
competition. So say if you got like 5th place and you get 1 point, you can say, okay, I want to go to the next qualifier. Maybe I get 2nd place and I get 5 points.
Yeah.
So that way you can also qualify. So I think it's the top 7 girls or something at the end of the year that have the most points, they will also qualify. Now there's been some changes. A new promoter took over the Miss Olympia for female bodybuilding. He's called Wings of Strength. It's Jake and Crystal Wood that has taken us over and treated us very well. The new Miss Olympia is called the Rising Phoenix World Championships.
Yeah, I read that. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
and it's amazing because they're really, the show was, it was the first show this year ever.
Okay.
And
Wow.
that was everything. I mean, there was like great venue, great like expensive hotel.
That's the one in
great
Texas?
rooms. San Antonio.
It was in Texas?
Yes,
Okay.
San Antonio,
Okay.
Texas. And just backstage, like everything was so like, you know, organized. The expediter was like expediter was there all the time telling you when you get on, like now is it an hour,
That's
now you have
super
30
important.
minutes, now you have 15
It
minutes.
was well organized.
It
Wow, I
was so
like that.
organized. And also the prize money, which is also, you know, we got to live. Usually, I believe the Miss Olympia first place was 20,000. This year, Wings of Strength knocked that up to 50,000 plus
Wow.
a $65,000 Jeep.
Wow.
Wow.
Now
That's
we're
good to-
talking. So
Damn,
I
we're in the
won for
wrong
second
business.
place. I won 25,000. So now we are talking about we can make a living because
Great.
take that.
That's nice.
Sure.
Good job, you guys.
Yeah.
You know,
Good.
take that and some sponsorships, and
Yeah.
you do some personal training,
Wow.
some gas posing.
Yeah.
Then we have a better
Nice
living,
living.
and we have a better chance.
I'm glad that you mentioned that too, because I have a lot of people that ask me all the time, what do you do this for? And as we mentioned the trophies too, it's like, why would you put yourself through that for a little trophy or not even getting a trophy? You know, and it's self-satisfaction more than anything. But, you know, people always ask, do you get paid money at least? So it's nice to hear on a pro level that, you know, competitors and athletes are getting paid
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
So you guys that have asked me that over and over and over, you know, when I get to Hella's level, you know, yes, you are making money, and because you have to make a living, because this is a full-time career for you.
It's just it's a lot you put into it, and it just it takes a huge amount of time.
Yeah.
When I'm in prep, and I mean, I'm fortunate that I don't have to have a 9 to 4 job, so I'm in the gym maybe like 5 hours a day.
Yeah, yeah, I can
you know,
relate. Yeah.
maybe more. You know, then so in posing practice,
I just,
you know, I gotta practice my routine.
Yeah.
Just it takes time to
So-
prepare 7 meals
Show
a
us,
day.
give her
too.
some tips. You need some tips.
Full-time
Show her.
job.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It is a full-time job.
Yeah,
It is a
Dan
full-time
saying
job.
I need tips.
Just preparing your meals, you know.
Preparing your
It takes a
meals,
long time,
posing,
too.
you're in there training, doing your cardio. I mean, just it's.
I mean, my
all
day is like, you know, I get up in the morning, I do an hour cardio.
Yeah.
I go home, prepare my breakfast. Then
Yeah.
I'll cook my meals. Maybe I have like 10 chicken breasts I want to throw on a grill, and cook up some rice or potatoes or whatever. Then
Is
I
that
need
one day's
to-
meal?
Is that one me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
is that your
I-
breakfast?
it's maybe not the 10 chicken
just
breasts
lost
is-
your audience.
is maybe for a
They're
couple
like,
days.
that's
Can I come to house for dinner sometime? You guys-
Exactly. They're like,
Can I get
that's
Thanksgiving
like,
tomorrow?
That's like $100 a
Yeah.
day for breakfast.
Maybe not that much, but I like to cook for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Invite us, we'll
I
come
can
over.
see you guys, yeah.
Invite us.
I could eat
It
10
is. I
chicken
mean, I
breasts.
have in my diet. I have 4 different protein types. I actually have 5.
Okay,
So
what
I
are they?
gotta cook fish every day.
Yep.
I have salmon when I'm a little bit out.
Yep.
When I get closer to the competition, it switches to tilapia.
Okay.
Then I have chicken or turkey
Yep.
year round. Then I have usually 1 steak a day.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have egg whites
Yep.
morning and evening.
Yep.
And then I have protein shake after the training. So that's 5
Wow.
different types, and you got to prepare all that.
Oh yeah, it's a full-time
So-
job. It's
and I have different types of carbs also, because when you get to a higher level, it's like you
Yeah.
gotta see, okay, these carbs like brown rice, they're slow. I'll take them at these times where I don't do so much. Maybe you'll
Yes.
take like a faster carb like white rice or some potatoes at some other time.
Yeah.
You know, or it's just it's the diet can be a little bit scientific, but it's
Yeah.
also, you know, big achievements we're talking about.
Any recommendations for people, or just words of wisdom to let people know that are wanting to compete? Because what I hear all the time is, I can't do the diet. There's no way. I mean, that I hear that all the time from my clients, competitors, and people like that. Is there anything that you can give to them just to kind of, you know, give them that extra encouragement, just to say, you know what, you can do this, and teach them the way of the different lifestyle.
I'll say usually people that say I can't do the diet,
Yes.
either it's because they've never really made a try.
Yeah.
If
They're
they
fearful.
if they made a try, it
Yeah.
was a half-hearted try,
Yeah, I
or
agree.
they took the diet somewhere off online or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd say if you want to do it, then if this is really what you want to do, if you really want to do it, it's all about how much do you want it. I know it's
Yeah.
a little bit cliche, but it is.
No.
If you want to do it, you will also go that route. And
Yeah.
one advice is get a coach.
Yeah.
You know, get
absolutely.
someone. If you're not knowledgeable, don't just do like a gym buddy that makes you a diet and you're not sure. I mean, yeah, if he's a pro, if he's knowledgeable, you know, he has a bachelor in nutrition, go for it. But other than that, you know, get a coach, get professional advice, because
You need a second set of eyes as
yeah,
well.
because
too.
if you go half-hearted, again, it will
Yeah.
fail again, and you will lose faith, and you'll never do it again.
Hey, Mike, but she's doing something what's happening now. When you were training back in the 70s, was the diet consistent, or people cheated with steroids and all that stuff?
Well, nobody ever used steroids. You know that. Not even Arnold.
Yeah.
So we better come on.
I'm
Dan.
curious about that.
No, well, here it is. It's just like any other thing. We didn't have the sophisticated, what's the word, pharmaceutical products that
Okay.
they have today, and vitamins. You got to understand, Dan, back then there was only 2 or 3 protein companies around. Rio H. Blair and Hoffman Supplements. That was it across the board. Then eventually Weider came into the picture. Then other companies. Now there are thousands and thousands of that multi-million-dollar industry called modern day bodybuilding and nutrition.
Yeah.
So yes, we did. We had to diet, but we diet very dumb. We went on 0 carbs for a week, and then we loaded up on the weekend. Then we went off 0 carbs. We were so in shock by the time we hit that stage to compete. We didn't know if we were coming and going. And mind you, this was before a lot of the steroids, HGH, a lot of the stuff that came over the board. And were people using them? I think they were, yeah. Because I know the people that I beat in some of the shows went on to win Mr. America, and I disappeared. And I produced shows, and it was better. It was harder to compete than it was to run shows, because you have to do that year round.
Of course.
And you get blown out of the saddle, and you're discouraged, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Steroids have been around forever.
Yeah. I want to talk. Who wants to talk about human growth hormone? Because, I mean, that's a big thing, and not a lot of people know about it. I mean, I was a little bit naive, because in Canada it's not as big as and prominent as it is out here in the United States. But women using it, men using it.
Right.
What are your thoughts on it? What do you guys know about it? What can we share with the listeners? Because I want to just kind of dive into things that people don't normally talk about.
Sure.
So,
I feel like it's almost like it's become like the new anti-aging drug,
okay.
because you see all these clinics where you can go and you get like, you know, HGH therapy, testosterone therapy if you're over 40 and so forth. It makes you look younger. So it's become more spread out. Of course, it's in bodybuilding and also, you know, figure and fitness, but also just regular people have started using it a lot as an anti-aging. We know that actors have been using it for many years to just look better and younger and healthier.
Absolutely. A lot of my clients, I mean, I train, you know, all different types of people and celebrities and actors and things like that. And, you know, a lot of people have a lot of information on it, and they're quite interested in it. So,
It's there.
you know, and there are the harmful things also, too. You got to make sure that your people are tested, because it can cause the growth of cancer. Is that correct?
Yes.
So if the cancer is in your body, it can...
It can flare up.
Okay.
Tracy, I know a couple of people that are on clinical trials for HGH.
Okay.
They get tested once a month, and they go out 5 vials of blood. They
Yep.
check to make sure your blood is not too high in red blood cells.
Okay.
And your GH, according to your bone structure, are you an ectomorph, endomorph, or a mesomorph? And how much testosterone do you have in your body? For the guys, I'm going to be 70 next year. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, the testosterone has pretty well gone south. So testosterone has been around. It's an anti-aging drug.
Yeah.
HGH is a wonder drug if it's used properly. Now, some of the guys on stage don't use it properly, and they go overboard. And this is when Arnold came up and mentioned, we got to turn back the clock. Some of the bodybuilders are getting too extreme.
Yeah.
What do you think, Hella?
Yeah, I think everything that's used excessively is not good.
Right.
We can say aspirin,
Yep.
water,
Yeah.
food, cupcakes, you know, whatever.
Alcohol, yeah.
She said the C word today. Hello, that's me.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I know you're not.
Sorry, I'm dreaming about
Torture.
cupcakes and chocolate.
No, I think everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Things can be used and they can be misused. I also don't think it's unhealthy to smoke one cigarette once in a while.
Yeah.
But if you smoke 40 cigarettes every day,
Yeah.
you're dead sure of there's
Sure.
something going to happen to you.
Yeah, no, I agree too.
So that's kind of my philosophy.
What do you guys think? I wanted to do a myth buster right now. Is the GH belly okay? Because I hear this all the time. Is that real? Is that growth hormone belly? Is that why it's distended like that? Do you know? Because everybody says
My brother has it for too much beer.
It is the real deal. When
It
Arnold
is.
said to the president of the NPC, Jim Mannion, he said, you got to get your judges in line and to dial it back a little bit. He meant it.
Okay.
Because the sport is lost its symmetry, lost its poise, it's lost its luster because of the big bellies. It's a real deal.
Yeah.
And it's devastating, especially if I got a 19-year-old son. I started all over
Yeah.
again at 50. And I would never tell him to be a bodybuilder because the bodybuilders, the way they are today, are over the top.
Yeah.
They're over the top. And unless we
excessive.
dial it back, you got problems
Well,
brewing.
we do have men's physique now, and the
And the new
coming year,
classic.
that's going to be the new
Classic categories.
classic
Classic.
physique.
Hey.
And
you know?
what exactly is that? So it's a smaller version of men's physique? Is that what it's going to be? Or is it
No,
kind
classic physique is going to be a smaller version of bodybuilding.
of... Okay.
A smaller
gonna have
version of
the
bodybuilding.
cuts, and they're going to
Okay.
have, the shapes like classic bodybuilding.
Because the men's
back in
physique
the
guys
day.
are they're pretty jacked.
They're big. And
So
they're
that's an interesting category. I'm
Well,
kind of
Arnold used one name, two names actually, that is a good representation of classic. Steve Reeves from the Hercules movies. I don't mean George Reeves. I don't mean Christopher Reeves, Superman. Steve Reeves was the original Hercules,
Yeah.
and he looked magnificent. But did he take any drugs? I don't think he took anything, but he had the genetic code. He had 19-inch neck, 19-inch arms, 19-inch calves, and I think a 28-inch waist.
Wow.
Today, the waists are so big on the guys. He also mentioned Frank Zane. Now, Frank Zane was the guy that I idolized because he was mainstream.
Yeah.
When the people get too muscular, too big, you're no longer part of mainstream. You're in a little sect of America that
Yes.
nobody recognizes.
You bet. Really good point, Mike. Really good point. That's so true. You know, one of the bodies that I always kind of, he was a mentor to watching. And he also, he looks good. He works out hard, and is Mike O'Hearn, and he's actually going to be on the show next
He's
week.
the
So
best.
I just want to let everyone know.
Oh,
so
my
that's
God.
our guest for next week. So I'm super excited and honored to have him here. As we watch everybody as we're younger too. I remember being the same way too. I used to look through magazines and going, I want to look like Monica Brandt, and I never ever thought I could do it. And so, I want you, Hella, to share with our listeners and viewers, and Mike, you as well, how to, kind of give like our passion and how to inspire people to really do this, whether it's modeling or fitness competing, or whether it's just, getting your body to that place that you just always wanted to get it to. What is the key? I mean, consistency is great as well, because that's super important. I just want to know like the mental part of it and the heart. When it comes to the heart and you think, wow, there was a point in my life where, I never thought I could do it. You had injuries as well, and getting through those injuries, how do you talk yourself to the next level?
you gotta believe in yourself.
Yeah.
No matter what,
That faith, right?
you gotta have faith in
Yeah.
yourself.
Yes.
You gotta love yourself.
Yes.
Yes, thank
you know,
you.
you gotta
Amen to
love
that.
yourself so much that you believe that you deserve this.
Oh, I
You
love that.
deserve to achieve that goal that you set your eyes on.
Mm.
And a lot of times people don't achieve it because of insecurities.
Yeah, and doubt.
And I don't have the surefire recipe. It's something you gotta find in yourself.
Yeah.
And you know, if you don't love yourself, you know, start reading some self-development books.
Affirmations, positive
Perfect.
affirmations.
Positive affirmations.
Absolutely.
Start thinking more positively.
Yeah.
If I get like a negative thought, like, oh, I can't do that, or I look like shit, or maybe I don't got it, or whatever it
'Cause
may
it happens,
be.
that
We
goes
all
through our heads.
have that self-talk,
Yeah.
and we have the negative self-talk,
chatter.
Right.
and we have the positive self-talk.
Yeah.
So whenever I get that negative that comes in, because if you got to see it as something like a demon that wants to consume you.
Yeah.
Because
I
once
think on
you
your
get
shoulder.
once
you
you
gotta
get
be
one
strong.
negative thought, you get into that
Spirals.
mood, and it's like you're in like some kind of negative frequency. And the longer you're in that negative frequency, the harder it is to break out.
Yeah, I totally
Exactly.
agree. That's
Every time I
beautiful.
get like a negative thought, I immediately say, you know, fuck that hell. I'm sorry, I know you can't say that on the radio.
That's all right. Bleep, bleep, but we're good.
Bleep.
Dan,
You got it.
Dan, where's your bleep button?
Yeah.
You know, I'm just gonna treat it like a cockroach. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just like I'm
Stop
gonna
it.
squish that.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop it, Hillary. You know, stop it.
Good.
And I'm replacing that bad thought with a positive thought.
I love it.
And
That's
That's it.
so important.
This
That
is
is
because
That's it.
this is such a mental sport.
Yeah.
And I'll say anything you want to achieve in life, whether it's start up that business or
Yeah.
you want to take
Exactly.
that education,
Yeah.
if you have some barriers, it can be very, very hard. You got to have confidence to achieve.
Yeah.
And that confidence,
moment.
it starts
Yeah.
with yourself, loving yourself, believing that you can do it.
Exactly.
I love it. That's so
So,
important.
and that,
Thank
and
you.
beyond
Give
that,
me chills when
you've
I love
got
it.
we all paint ourselves into our own corner, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody does that has ever walked. You see out here, we're in Hollywood. The streets are filled with people
Yes.
that lost hope. You can never lose hope in yourself. You painted yourself into that corner.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guess what, buddy? Guess what, ma'am? Paint yourself out.
Yeah.
Only you can do that. Lily Tomlin, the comedian, said, "We're all in this together, alone. We
Yeah.
come into this world alone, we die alone.
Yeah.
So you got to make the most of it right now. And believe me, you have demons that you cannot believe.
Mm-hmm.
So your best friends have got to be those that lift you up, that are positive. If you have any negative, adios, amigo. Goodbye.
That's a
Arrivederci.
very-
Yeah, it's
that's
not
a
You
very
serving your
have
purpose.
to associate with
surround
positive
yourself
people.
Good
with
friends
positive
around you.
You have
Yeah.
good friends
Yeah.
around you.
People that are like-minded and bring you up and lift you up, and you're at that,
Yeah.
like you said, that vibration,
Yeah.
that higher vibration. Higher vibrating people stick together,
Yeah.
and they do well. And you know, you nailed it on the head too, Mike.
Yeah.
Yes.
Saying it's the hope, because last weekend, this past weekend, I was doing a charity drive in Skid Row, handing
Mm-hmm.
out socks and water. It's called Rockin' Socks. So thank you
I
to
love
my
it.
friends for doing that. It's the most amazing experience you could ever feel,
sure.
and I have so much appreciation. But just going down there and just looking into the eyes of people that don't have homes and
They've
are living on
lost
the
it.
streets, and
Yeah.
I asked them this one question: why are you here?
Yeah.
And what it comes down to is loss of hope.
Exactly.
And no faith, and just giving up, so it's always that, loving yourself enough to say that I do deserve this. And I love that.
Yeah.
One of the greatest tools that I've learned over the years, and also to my friend Roseanne Kelly, I'd like to give her a shout out. She does hypnotherapy on me. I always thought it was kind of weird and it was like voodoo or something like that, but it has helped me so much to achieve a lot of goals that I've been doing. And what she gets me to do is visualize. So I visualize already winning. I visualize succeeding. I visualize having a successful radio show at night.
Right.
I visualize, my business meetings, my contracts, everything that I do. I always visualize the success of it before I go into it. And if you see yourself as a winner, you will be a winner. And I do that with all my clients as well when I'm life coaching, and it really truly works because
Sure does.
you know, you see it.
Tracy, the other thing that I used to do too, and before I started producing,
Yeah.
I said, I want to run this show. I would write it down in a wish book. Because if you try to carry around all this information in
Yeah.
your brain, eventually you go into a brain freeze.
Yeah.
So you write down, have a wish book, clip out little pictures of what you want, a car, a boat, you want to get
Yes.
married, you want to get divorced, whatever it is, you can do it.
Yeah.
Now, as far as religion goes, all of those tie right in, but some of the churches don't teach it that way. They want
True.
you to offer something to them and be part of their church. You are the church. You are the kingdom of God. You have everything within you you need to make it. But you've got to push harder, and you've got to associate with people of like minds, spiritual people especially.
Absolutely.
Because that's all we come in here with. We're nothing but dust when we leave.
Yeah, I always say the phrase too, you got to give it away to keep it. I mean,
Perfect.
you know, and it's so true because when I'm giving back and just being in that situation, you know, people always ask me, they're like, what's it like down there? Is it gross? And I go, no, not at all. And I mean, I don't look at it like that. Because I want to know about the people. I want to know why and what happened and why they're there and what we can do to change it and fix it and help people and how we can get them back to the place of loving themselves
Tracy,
again.
can they change it?
You know, if they have the will and
There it
and they
is.
have the faith.
Can they change it?
Absolutely.
Can a person that's out of shape at 50 or 60 get in shape?
You betcha.
You betcha. There's
Yeah.
your
You
answer.
betcha.
See,
Absolutely.
so anybody
I'm doing
listening to
it.
this,
Yep, for
Yeah.
sure.
I don't care if you belong to the mainstream gyms. We won't mention their names, but mainstream gyms is where all the money is today.
Yeah.
That's where it is. I call it the cattle call gyms.
Yeah.
You know, because they have good trainers there. Some are mail ordered, certified. But when you get in there, get a good trainer and get moving and get motivated and never give up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll disappoint yourself and those around you.
Absolutely. I love it. Mike, we've got a few more minutes. I want you to tell me what's going on for you, what's going to be
Projects
happening,
coming up.
what's coming up.
Well,
Tell
there are
us.
shows and there are expos, Tracy, but there
Okay.
is only one Steve Reeves expo, but it didn't work out. Here's what happened. Okay, so Steve Reeves was the legend. We worked on a project to open the door to reinvent Steve. Steve passed away in 2000 in Valley Center. I was at his funeral. Joe Weider was there. Arnold was there. Lou Ferrigno was there. Since that time, he has not done much as far as his memorabilia, his statues. By the way, he's got the first ever Sandow statue
Okay.
in the collection. But I was going to sign a contract to do the Steve Reeves classic shows. It didn't work out. I love it. It's a
Yeah.
great idea. It wasn't for me. Goodbye.
Yeah.
But I got somebody else in the wings
Okay.
that I'm not at liberty to say because we haven't signed yet, but he's a 3-time Mr. Olympia.
Okay.
That he said, count me in if it's right. So
Okay.
I'm leaving it at that. If it's right, when I come on next time, if you'll have me,
Absolutely.
I'll
I
bring him
will.
with me.
Please. Good.
Bring his
Okay.
wife too.
Him, yeah, bring his wife. Oh, you know who he is?
Yeah,
We
Dan-
I
met.
think so.
We've
Okay,
met.
so
Dan's like, I already know.
yeah, we try to always reinvent things because Hella can tell you now. There's so many classes in the
Yeah.
shows. There's what's the name of the show?
Bikini, figure,
Bikini,
fitness,
fitness.
physique,
Now you got old physique coming in
bodybuilding.
play, and
Yeah.
it's and then there's another organization that you're involved with, and the name again is
IFBB.
no, not the IFBB.
Fire.
Wings of some.
Oh, Wings of Strength.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Thank
the
you. Okay, that's
promoter.
an offshoot, a subsidiary, folks, of the IFBB. It's just not an entity. But I'll tell you what, right now, I've been in Joe Weider's office 100 times when he was alive. I knew Ben Weider on a first-name basis. I could call him, and his secretary would put me through. It's the biggest federation in the world. IFBB is not going away. NPC is getting bigger. If you want to do something good, join the NPC, join the IFBB. Believe you me, I went outside of that before, and I learned a good lesson. Did I produce shows? Was I successful? Of course I was.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're still the main gun in town. And for now, guess where Arnold is? He's with them.
Yeah.
100%. So let's go by the track record. I almost sound like Donald Trump here, but you got to go by what's working, not by what you want.
Absolutely.
What you want and what's really there is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, and that's where my decision came on board too. You know, I've had a lot of mentors in the industry, and I want to give a shout out to my opposing coach, Oksana Grishina. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Also, Stan McQuay for your help in the gym. And I'm going to be competing in the Excalibur NPC show December 12th.
Wow.
So I hope you guys are coming out to cheer me on. Thank you. I'll be in figure D class, so I'm excited.
Excellent.
And yeah, so that's 17 more days. And so
Awesome.
before we finish here, I want to know what you are up
Yeah,
to.
what are you
Hella,
doing?
and what's
Yes.
happening? So what are you going to be doing?
Well, I was second at the Rising Phoenix World
Yay,
Championships.
Congratulations,
All right.
Just
girl.
in
Amazing.
August. So since I was second, I'm automatically qualified for next year.
Okay, good.
Top 5 are automatically qualified. So I'm not gonna waste any time of like doing some smaller shows or qualifiers because the only critique I got from the judges was I got to bring my back up because I'm very
Okay.
strong on my legs. So
Yeah.
they said you got to bring a better back.
Okay.
So that's my quest right now. So it's like
Good.
back 2 or 3 times a week, and I'm like,
Nice.
I bet you Steve Weinberger, I'm gonna bring a bigger and better back.
She is.
It's a promise.
I know this girl is.
So
yeah.
you know, I'm of course going for doing the World Championships again in August and just
Okay.
bringing my best package that
Yeah.
I possibly can. I'm
Yeah.
working very hard every day.
Yes,
So
clearly you look incredible.
Thank you.
I mean, I have
appreciate
so
it.
much respect for you.
Yeah, for sure.
I know what it takes just to get this little body. So, I mean, I have mad respect for you. One
It
last
is-
words of wisdom for me before I get on stage. One thing that I can take to the stage and remember that a champion like yourself gave to me for advice before I hit my first show in the United States.
Look like a winner when you walk in there.
Thank
You
you.
got to convince the
Okay.
judges
Yeah.
with the way you
Exactly.
carry yourself, the
Yeah.
way you walk, the look you have in your eyes that you got this.
I got one for
Nice.
you. Your nickname is Quadricep Queen. Give her a nickname.
Quadricep queen. I
This
love it.
must be miscut because you're like very great. You have very great conditioning. I mean, I
Thank
see the
you.
veins coming out and the cuts in your
Thank
shoulders.
you.
You look amazing.
love it.
And
Thank you.
You still have 70 more days to,
Yeah.
improve. So that's amazing.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm going to
So-
remember those words when I'm walking out of onto the stage. I just want to thank you guys so much for coming here tonight. Mike Glass, it's such
Pleasure.
an honor to
Oh.
have you here. I know
My
you'll be
pleasure.
back if you will, please. I'm
Absolutely.
already
Whatever you
good.
need.
Good.
Thank
And
you.
Hella, thank you so much and congratulations on all your successes. And also
Thank you.
yours as well, Mike.
Thank
Thank
you.
so
Thank
much,
you
Dan
very much.
Kennedy in the driver's seat tonight, working the keyboards.
Yeah, where are the
And-
callers?
Yeah, I know.
Give us
Next
some
time.
callers.
And if anybody wants to check me out, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Hella Trevino.
Beautiful.
Also, thank you to my sponsor, Heyday Footwear. They always there and support me. Check out their page.
Awesome.
Thank
you.
TLC Athletics, Twitter and Instagram, Tracy Lynn Cowan on Facebook, Tracy Lynn Health and Fitness Life Coach, and also Life Angels, LA Talk Radio. Here every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you to all my sponsors, No Limit Muscle, Vina, Vitargo, Setwear Fitness. And Mike, you can find you on Facebook under Mike Glass.
Bring a friend, bring a buddy, bring your husband, bring your wife, but don't miss it on Facebook.
Yeah, next week, Mike O'Hearn. You guys stay tuned. I know you won't want to miss that. Thanks again, you guys. Until
Thank you.
next time,
Thank
good
you
night,
for having me.
Angels.
Thank you, Trace.
Thank you.
You're listening to Life Angels with Tracy Lynn, right here on LA Talk Radio.